afternoon, everybody. I'm going to continue reading our first Dork Diaries book today for 20 minutes for our daily reading. Saturday, September 7th. My mom and dad are driving me nuts. In the past 72 hours, they have posted all over the house 139 positive affirmations on rainbow-colored sticky notes that say really stupid things like, be your own best friend, invite yourself for a sleepover. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to read the one they stuck in the toaster slot thingy because it caught on fire when I tried to make a strawberry Pop-Tart for breakfast. I had to dump my glass of orange juice on the sticky note to put it out. And after that, the toaster started melting, shooting blue electrical sparks and making a loud, angry noise like grrr. I'm thinking we're probably going to need a new one. But what was really scary was that our house could have actually burnt to the ground. All because my parents stuck a sticky note in the toaster slot thingy. I know my mom and dad mean well, but sometimes they're an embarrassment. Sunday, September 8th. I'm already dreading that the weekend is almost over and I have to go back to school tomorrow. It's been one whole week and I still haven't made a single friend. I've got this overwhelming sense of loneliness sitting in the pit of my stomach like a big fat poisonous toad. Me being overwhelmed by the big fat poisonous toad of loneliness. I'm seriously thinking about asking my parents to let me move back to the city and live with my grandma so I could attend my old school. I'll admit that it wasn't perfect, but I'd give anything to hang out with my friends from art class again. I really, really miss them. Anyway, my grandma lives in one of those apartment buildings for elderly people who are young at heart and committed to leading a full and active life. So, she's up on all the latest fads and stuff. She's also a little wacky. Okay, a lot wacky. And totally addicted to the game show The Price is Right. Last year, Grandma bought a computer from the Home Shopping Network to help her train to be a contestant on The Price is Right. Now she spends most of her spare time on her computer, memorizing the suggested retail prices of all the major grocery store brands. She plans to use all her research and game strategies to write a how-to manual called The Price is Right for Morons. Grandma says her book could be bigger than Harry Potter. I didn't think being on a game show took any special skills, but she told me you have to train like you would for the Super Bowl. She took a few sips of her energy drink, stared at me real serious-like, and whispered, "Sweetie, when life presents a challenge, you can either be a chicken or a champion. The choice is yours." Then she started humming Girls Just Want to Have Fun really loud. I was like, just great. Grandma's finally going senile. Doesn't she understand that some things in life you're stuck with and powerless to change? Jeez. But I have to admit, she's gotten pretty good at The Price is Right. The last few times I saw her play along with the game show, she got every single price correct. It was amazing because she would have won like $549,321 in cash and prizes, including 3 cars, a boat, a trip for 2 to Niagara Falls, and a lifetime supply of Depends adult diapers. I gave her a big hug and said, "Grandma, you have mad skills at the Price is Right game, and I'm really proud of you, but you should really try to get out of the house more often." Grandma just smiled and said her life is exciting now that she's taking hip-hop dance lessons at the Senior Rec Center, and her dance teacher, Crump Daddy, is dope. Then she asked if I wanted to see her bust a move. She was actually pretty good for a 76-year-old. Grandma's a little wacky, but you gotta love her. Monday, September 9th. My birthday is September 9th. This morning, the halls were plastered with colorful posters for random acts of avant-garde art, our annual school art show. I'm super excited because the first prize for each class is $500 cash. Sweet. That would be enough for me to buy a cell phone, a new outfit from the mall, and art supplies. But most important, winning that award could transform me from a socially challenged art dork to a socially charmed art diva, practically overnight. Who would have thunk my art skills could get me into the CCP clique? So I rushed down to the school office to get an entry form and was surprised to see that a line had already formed. And guess who else was picking one up? Mackenzie. And, as usual, she was blabbering nonstop. Like, since I'm going to be a model, fashion designer, pop star, I already have a portfolio of 7 very hot fashion illustrations for my Fab Forever clothing line, which I also plan to wear on my very successful world tour as the opening act for Miley Cyrus, who of course will fall head over heels in love with my designs and buy like $1 million worth. Then I'm going to enroll at a prestigious university like Harvard, Yale, or the Westchester Fashion Institute of Cosmetology, which, by the way, is owned by my Aunt Clarissa. Okay, I'll admit I freaked out about having to compete against Mackenzie. She just kept staring at me with her icy blue eyes, and my stomach felt queasy and I got chill bumps. Then suddenly I had an epiphany and I totally understood what my grandma meant when she said, "You can be a chicken or a champion. The choice is yours." So I gathered all my strength and determination, took a deep breath, and mustered the courage to decide right there on the spot which one I was. A big fat chicken. When the office assistant asked if I was there to pick up an entry form for the avant-garde art show, I just froze and started clucking like a hen. Buck, 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 ah! Then Mackenzie laughed. Like me entering the competition was the most ridiculous thing she had ever heard. That's when I spotted the yellow sign-up sheet for library shelving assistants, also known as LSAs. Every day during study hall, a few kids got excused to go to the school library to shelve books. An LSA's life is about as exciting as watching paint dry. So instead of trying to achieve my dreams of winning a major art competition, I very stupidly signed up to shelve dusty and boring library books. My future miserable life as a library shelving assistant. Coughing, sneezing, all the dust. If I see another book, I'm going to puke. And it's all Mackenzie's fault. When I reported to the library during study hall, the librarian, Mrs. Peach, gave me a tour. She told me I would be working with 2 other girls who had signed up last week. But what I wanted to know was who, in their right mind, would sign up to shelve library books as an extracurricular activity. At least I had a good excuse. I did it while I was temporarily insane from Mackenzie's icy stare, which had frozen my brain cells, slowed my heartbeat, and totally immobilized my body so I couldn't get up and sign up for the avant-garde art competition. Tuesday, September 10th. I had the most horrible accident in French class today. While I was taking my French textbook out of my backpack, my perfume body spray, called Sassy Sasha, fell on the floor. Unfortunately, the little white nozzle thingy popped off, and it just kept spraying and spraying until the entire can was empty. My teacher, Mr. Something or other, I can't pronounce his name because it sounds like a sneeze, started yelling a lot of stuff in French that sounded to me an awful lot like cuss words. Then he evacuated all the students from the classroom because everyone was coughing and choking and their eyes were watering really bad. And while we were standing in the hallway waiting for the smell to go away, he asked me very rudely in English, which I do understand, if I was trying to kill him. Okay, first of all, I don't like French class that much anyways. And second of all, it was just an accident. I mean, it's not like my perfume was really going to kill him. At least, I don't think so. But then again, what if it actually did? What if my French teacher collapsed in the teacher's lounge while eating a corn dog at lunch and died from extreme Sassy Sasha asphyxiation? And what if, for 3 whole days, no one noticed the foul odor coming from his dead body, since the school lunches normally smell like a lot of rotting flesh? Here she draws him with the stink fumes. The police would launch an investigation and I would be the main suspect. Then the CSI Miami crime scene experts would conduct scientific tests on my French teacher's nose hairs and find traces of Sassy Sasha. They would figure out that I was guilty of fumigating him with a lethal dose of my body spray. And then, what if the CSI team secretly planted all of the physical evidence on moi? By the way, moi is French for me. I'd end up getting the electric chair during my freshman year, which would really suck. And then afterward, I'd be totally peeved because I missed driver's ed class and my senior prom. You gotta believe me, I'm totally innocent. I have nothing to hide, search my bedroom. Oh my god, a dead body, how did he get in here? Now that I think about it, Mr. Something or Other just loves Mackenzie because she's really good at French and she can pronounce his weird sneeze-sounding name. I bet if she had dropped her Sassy Sasha body spray in the classroom and the nozzle thingy popped off, he would not have yelled at her or accused her of trying to kill him. But that's because Mackenzie is Miss Perfect. I bet she's even going to win the avant-garde art competition. And afterward, just out of spite, she'll probably check out like 189 books from the school library and then return them all the next day. Of course, I'll be the one stuck, having to put each and every one of them away since I'm a stupid library shelving assistant. My pathetic life is so unfair, it makes me want to scream. Wednesday, September 11th. Today, everyone in the cafeteria was super excited because Mackenzie was handing out invitations to her big birthday bash. The way Lisa Wing and Sarah Grossman were crying and hugging on each other, you would think they were going to be on My Super Sweet 16 or something. It was beyond disgusting. Mackenzie's phony friends crying phony tears and giving each other phony smiles and phony hugs. They reminded me of the Olsen twins. For the life of me, I never understood why those sisters were always hugging on each other. They were the first set of non-Siamese twins who people actually thought were joined at the hip. For the rest of the day, everyone Mackenzie invited to her party sucked up to her like a human vacuum cleaner, except Brandon Roberts. When she gave him an invitation, she tried to flirt with him by twirling her hair around her finger and smiling real big. She even accidentally dropped her purse so he would pick it up for her, just like Tira says to do when you're trying to get a guy to notice you. But Brandon just glanced at Mackenzie's invitation, shoved it into his backpack, and walked right past her. And boy, did she get upset when he blew her off like that. Then, a bunch of jocks trampled all over her new $300 Vera Bradley bag before she could pick it up off the floor. Personally, I kind of liked the dirty footprints better than that boring floral pattern. Anyway, Brandon is so cool. From what I can tell, he seems to be kind of the quiet rebel type. He's a reporter and photographer for the school newspaper and has won a few awards for his photojournalism. Once he actually sat at my lunch table, but I don't think he noticed me staring at him. Probably because his shaggy, wavy hair is forever falling into his eyes. And today, in biology, when he asked if he could take a picture for the school newspaper of me dissecting my frog, I almost died. I was shaking so badly I could hardly hold the scalpel. And now every tiny detail of his perfect face is permanently etched in my mind. Is it possible that I'm falling in love for the first time? The Biology of My Heartbreak by Nikki Maxwell. I see you in my dreams, in your favorite white button-down shirt, sitting across from me in the cafeteria. I've never seen anyone eat fries so beautifully. I see you in biology class, taking pictures for the school newspaper, when you whisper to the depths of my soul, hold the frog at an angle. For it is only you who can make a photo of a dissected frog seem so vibrant, so alive yet dead. It hurts to feel this way. I know that you'll never know me. I want to run my fingers through your dark wavy hair as I realize that the putrid smell of formaldehyde and the dull gaze of a lifeless frog will forever remind me of us. Thursday, September 12th. During my gym class, even the scared of the balls girls were gossiping about Mackenzie's party, like one of them would ever get invited. They're the really prissy girls who hang in small groups and scream hysterically whenever a ball comes near them. It could be a basketball, football, baseball, soccer ball, tennis ball, volleyball, beach ball, ping pong ball, moth ball, or even a meatball. They're not really picky. Scared of balls girls playing volleyball. Giggle gossip. Eat, help! Whoosh! Chloe and Zoe. Red team wins by 1 point. Your grade is A+, losers, hit the showers. Your grade is a C. Our team loses. Yep, you can always count on the scared of balls girls to screw things up and lose the game for you. It really sucks to have girls like Chloe and Zoe on your team, especially if you absolutely hate taking showers after gym class. Just the thought of showering at school makes me nauseous. It will be totally their fault if I catch some kind of incurable disease from the slimy mold and mildew growing in those nasty showers. Why I hate showering in gym class. Me, before. showering, slightly sweaty, but clean and fresh. Me after showering, completely covered in stink, mildew, and slime. I was really surprised when Chloe and Zoe came up to me after gym class and started talking. Of course, I pretended like I was not teed off at them for running away from the ball and making me have to take a shower. Apparently, our librarian, Mrs. Peach, told them I was assigned to work with them in the library, and they were actually excited about it. Like, what is so exciting about shelving library books? But I just played along and pretended to be as thrilled about it as they were. I was like, OMG, OMG, I can't believe we're going to be shelving books together. How cool is that? We ended up eating lunch together at table 9, and it was really nice not having to eat alone for once. Chloe's full name is Chloe Cristiana Garcia, and her family owns a software company. It was amazing because she has read like all of the latest novels. She says she lives vicariously through the characters' joys and heartbreaks and learns a lot of stuff about life, love, boys, and kissing, which she plans to use when she goes to high school next year. She said she owns 983 books and has read most of them twice. I was like, wow. Zoe's full name is Zoisha Ebony Franklin, and her mom is an attorney and her dad is a record company executive. She has met practically all of the biggest pop stars. Zoe says she likes reading, self-help, and is currently seeking ways to enhance her relationship with the 3 mother figures in her life. She has a mom, a grandmother who helped raise her, and a stepmother. I was really sympathetic since I know from personal experience that only having one mother figure in your life can be traumatic and psychologically damaging. Can you imagine having 3? OMG. Then Zoe said, how can you stand having a locker next to Mackenzie's? She's like so stupid. She rubs lipstick on her forehead to make up her mind. And being really shallow can sometimes create multifaceted self-esteem issues. I could not believe Zoe actually said that. I thought everyone at the school worshipped Mackenzie. We laughed so hard that chewed up carrot bits shot right out of my nose. All 3 of us were like, ew, gross. Then Chloe snickered. Hey, carrot-flavored boogers. Let's give them to Mackenzie so she can sprinkle them all over her tofu salad as a low-carb topping. In the Click series, those girls are forever doing evil stuff like that to their frenemies. We laughed so loud at Chloe's joke that the kids sitting at tables 6 and 8 started staring at us. I even saw Mackenzie glance our way. But then she looked away really fast so we wouldn't make the huge mistake of believing she actually acknowledged our existence. I could tell she was wondering what was going on. So now I'm thinking about forgiving Chloe and Zoe for that whole shower fiasco in gym class. I actually had a pretty good day today. Friday, September 13th. I was pretty sick and tired of hearing about Mackenzie and her stupid little party. But since she's in my geometry class and I sit right behind her, I knew I was just going to have to suck it up and deal with it. I was trying my best to ignore her when she turned around, smiled at me, and did the strangest thing. She handed me a bright pink invitation tied with a big white satin bow. I gasped and almost fell out of my chair. My brain was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen, other than maybe the new iPhone I want. Who would have thought that I would get an invitation to the party of the year? Then it dawned on me that this might be some really cruel joke. I looked around the room for a hidden camera, half expecting Ashton Kutcher, I can't believe he's married to a woman older than my mom, to jump out of the closet and yell, you just got punked. Then I realized that most of the other girls in my class were staring at me with envy and disbelief. It was really weird because suddenly I noticed I had tiny limp balls all over my favorite hoodie, and it made me feel self-conscious, so I tried to pick a few of them off. None of Mackenzie's friends would be caught dead in a not-from-the-mall hoodie with limp balls on it, so I made a mental note. Burn current wardrobe. She has the worn-out Skechers sweatshirt, not-from-the-mall linty hoodie, birthday present from grandma, dirty gym sock, out-of-style clogs, baggy tank top, belt, scarf knitted by aunt, rest of my embarrassing wardrobe, and low-rise jeans with a saggy butt. Mackenzie was still smiling at me like I was her new BFF or something. Hey, hon, I was just wondering if you would, but I was so excited I jumped right in before she could even finish her sentence. Mackenzie, I would love to, I gushed. Thanks for asking me, hun. Okay, so I actually called her hun, even though I always thought that word sounded super phony. And yes, I was totally geeked and as happy as Vanessa Ann Hudgens when she found out she was not getting kicked off High School Musical 3. But mostly I was in shock. I could hardly believe I was actually going to Mackenzie's party. Soon I was going to have really cool friends and a social life, and maybe even highlights, a pierced belly button, and a boyfriend. I was starting to believe my That's So Hot magazine was right. Maybe the key to happiness really was friends, fun, fashion, and flirting. Me floating on air amid sunshine, rainbows, twinkling stars, and pink cotton candy clouds, passionately clutching my invitation to Mackenzie's party over my heart. My hands were shaking as I untied the ribbon and tore open the envelope. Suddenly, Mackenzie narrowed her eyes at me and scowled like I was something smeared on the bottom of her shoe. "You idiot," she hissed. "What are you doing?" Opening my invitation?" I stammered. I was already starting to have a really bad feeling about this whole party thing. "Like I would invite you," she sneered, flipping her blonde tresses and batting her long lashes at me in disgust. "Aren't you the new girl who hangs around my locker all the time like some kind of creepy stalker?" "Well, yes, no. Actually, my locker's right next to yours," I muttered. "Are you sure?" she said, looking me up and down like I was lying to her or something. I couldn't believe she was actually pretending like she didn't know me. I've only had a locker next to hers like forever. "I'm very sure," I said. Then Mackenzie took out her crazy kissalicious lip gloss and applied like 3 extra thick layers. After gazing at herself in a little compact mirror for 2 whole minutes, she is so stuck on herself, she snapped it shut and glared at me. "Before you so rudely interrupted me, I was simply asking if you would pass my invitation to Jessica. How was I supposed to know you were going to rip it open like some uncivilized gorilla?" Mackenzie spat. Then everyone in the class turned around and stared at me. I could not believe my ears. How dare that girl actually call me uncivilized? "Oh, okay, my bad," I said, trying to sound coolly nonchalant about the whole thing, while blinking back tears. Who's Jessica?" Suddenly I felt a sharp tap on my shoulder. I turned around to face the girl sitting in the dust behind me. She had long blonde hair and was wearing pink glittery lip gloss, a pink sweater, a pink miniskirt, and a headband trimmed with fake pink diamonds. If I had spotted her in Toys R Us, I swear I would have mistaken her for a new fashion doll. Totally ticked off Jessica. Alright, that is 20 minutes of reading for the day. So I'm going to stop here. And tomorrow I will upload the next 20 minutes of reading Dork Diaries. I hope everyone is doing well. And if you are in any of the cluster Zoom calls, I will see you there. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you tomorrow.